Okay, what is it like to have a low blood sugar? What is it like to have a low blood sugar? Well, for me, it's kind of then and now. Then, when I was first diagnosed, I could hear my heartbeat. And it's sort of like your heart is going to bounce out of your chest. I would get sweaty and I would get confused. And being confused is terrible. But it's something you fought with. Now, I would go through and, I would take care of things and so on. But it's bad when you have a low blood sugar and your muscles don't do what you want. Like you try walking and you end up walking into walls. Now, something I've always really felt peculiar with, and it may be just a symptom I have, but on all these diabetes specials and such, no one ever talks about it. But I think clearly when I have a low blood sugar. And, I constantly always think clearly. But I don't see where that is. I'll say I want to move my hand, but it's hard to move my hand. It's the weirdest thing. But maybe it's a sign of my body shutting down. And you really have to sort of keep up with where your blood sugars are. Now that was then. Now, hell, I don't know when I'm having a blood sugar. Half the time, I have my dog tell me, I have my pump tell me, I have the glucometer tell me. I will do a test and find out I have a low blood sugar, and then I will treat it. And the funny thing is, when I treat my blood sugars, my blood doesn't go up, or my blood sugar doesn't raise as quickly. So, what do you do? Well, you can keep trying to eat. But that, sometimes with me, doesn't work. I have what's called a brittle type of diabetes. You can keep trying to eat. But that, sometimes with me, doesn't work. I have what's called a brittle type of diabetes. You have to take glucagon. And glucagon will eventually raise your blood sugar. Now, they say it takes about 15 minutes, but it will raise your blood sugars. So, a lot of times, I'll just give myself some glucagon. I also have an insulin pump, I also have a glucagon pump, which will also deliver me glucagon if I need it. But, glucagon, over time, if you keep using glucagon all day, your body won't have any sugar for the liver to release. And that's how it works. So, you have to ensure that after you have glucagon, you have a snack. Now, it could be some sort of snack that contains protein and starch. So crackers and cheese works well. Orange juice and cottage cheese. Something so that your liver can store up some sugar that if it's needed again, it can do it quite well. You know, glucagon is not the perfect answer, but it helps. And nowadays they're looking at doing an artificial pump, which hopefully can help quite a bit. So a lot of times, the best prevention for low blood sugar is that you try to keep yourself from going low. But it can't always work that way. And for me, I pretty well go to bed each night wondering if I'm going to wake up the next day. And, it's not the greatest thing to have to live with, but you live with what you dealt with. Would I jump at the chance not to have diabetes? Yeah, you bet. Days I don't feel like eating, but I have to eat because, I could not have enough sugar so that my blood will not have enough sugar, and therefore I will just get a low blood sugar. But sometimes I really feel hungry, and you know what? You can't have anything more to eat because your blood sugar will be too high. And you know what? I'd like to even go one day where I wouldn't have to worry about a blood sugar. I wouldn't have to do my blood sugars up to 8 times a day, or anything along those lines. But I have to. And that's the point of living with diabetes. And the scary part now, we started off this video asking, what is it like to have a low blood sugar? It is crap. Your body feels like crap after it. And, later, you get a massive headache sometimes. And, you can't, they say, oh, well, you should have 15 milligrams of, 15 grams, not milligrams, sorry, 15 grams of carbohydrate. Then you should wait 15 minutes, test again. Well, for myself, that's a little different because I'm a brittle diabetic. And being a brittle diabetic, sorry, just crossing the street, making sure it's all safe. You have to be aware because you don't know when you're going to drop. You don't know when you're going to go high. Well, some people say, well, you know what? You really should watch your insulin and you should watch what you eat. If you're a brittle diabetic, you try playing by the rules and the game rules keep changing. It doesn't know what we're doing in each case. Nico, low blood sugars aren't fun because you have no control of yourself while you're having a low. And if you start feeling funny and have a low, get sugar, get glucagon. Take care of yourself. Don't go out moving around. But for me, it's different. I don't know when they're coming on, which makes it worse. I can't drive. I can't work because I can't, work as a cashier, as a store manager, because I don't know when I'm going to have an issue. What happens if you don't treat a low blood sugar? Well, if you let things go, you'll end up in the hospital. Now, I can remember the first time it happened to me. I was in, I think, grade 9. Or actually, maybe it was grade 8. Anyway, and my sister, who I was living with at the time, because my parents were on a contract in Fiji, and I didn't wake up. I'd laid down for a nap or something, and I'd woke up in the hospital. And, I had tubes running in me, and they eventually let us go. They fed us a sandwich, and it's always a cheddar cheese sandwich. Sometimes you'll get egg, but it's not the good egg, so. But don't let things slide. The minute you start feeling that you're having a low blood sugar, well, get out there, and not get out there, but get to the kitchen, anywhere there's sugar, and treat it. Now, I don't suggest you do this, but it's alright, she knows. There was a man who, he was a diabetic for many years, and was out on his way home taking the bus or something, and started feeling really low. So he knew that there was a mall up ahead. So he got off the bus and he went into the drugstore. But by this time, his blood sugar had dropped so low that he needed to get sugar. So he stopped and grabbed, a chocolate bar and juice or something. And he walked off and he sat outside on a bench outside the drugstore. Well, immediately store security came out and said, "You can't do that, you're under arrest." And, he was arrested and taken down. And they found when they put him down that his blood sugar was low, but the judge threw it out because everyone just says, "Well, why didn't you take care of it?" It's kind of like, well, why do people not go deep sea fishing with sharks? Oh well, did you get bitten and eaten by a shark? If you're diabetic, you should be prepared. You should have a kit available where you can get glucagon or sugar or something. And hard candies, juice, even if you have to, regular Coke. But don't go for Diet Coke. Take care of yourself and allow things to get better. Take care of yourself and have a great day.